Welcome to the Englishstorywell channel, your ultimate destination for captivating stories that enhance your English learning journey. Here, we believe that stories are not just a form of entertainment, but a powerful tool to improve your language skills. Let's go to started.
Chapter 1, Planning the Trip. It all started with a dream. Ever since I was a child, I had always wanted to visit London. The city's rich history, iconic landmarks, and cultural diversity fascinated me. So, when I finally saved enough money for the trip, I couldn't contain my excitement. I spent weeks planning my itinerary. I researched the best places to visit, booked my flights and accommodation, and made a list of must-see attractions. I also practiced my English listening and speaking skills by watching travel vlogs and listening to podcasts about London. Everything is set, I thought to myself, looking at my neatly organized travel plan. London, here I come. Chapter 2, Arrival in London. The day of my departure arrived, and I could hardly believe it. The flight was long, but my excitement kept me awake. As the plane descended, I caught my first glimpse of London from above. The city stretched out beneath me, a sprawling metropolis with a blend of modern and historic architecture. After landing at Heathrow Airport, I collected my luggage and made my way to the Underground, commonly known as the Tube. Navigating the Tube was my first challenge, but thanks to my pre-trip preparations, I managed to find my way to my hotel in central London without any major hiccups. As I stepped out of the Tube station, I was greeted by the bustling streets of London. Red double-decker buses, black cabs, and people from all walks of life filled the scene. My hotel was a charming boutique place nestled in a quiet street near Covent Garden. Chapter 3, Exploring the Landmarks. The next morning, I woke up early, eager to start my adventure. My first stop was the Tower of London. This historic castle, located on the north bank of the River Thames, has a history dating back over 1,000 years. I joined a guided tour led by a yeoman warder, also known as a beefeater. His stories about the castle's history and the crown jewels were captivating. From the Tower of London, I took a short walk to Tower Bridge. The iconic structure was even more impressive in person. I walked across the bridge, taking in the stunning views of the river and the city skyline. Next, I headed to the nearby Borough Market for lunch, where I indulged in delicious street food from various vendors. In the afternoon, I visited the British Museum. The vast collection of artifacts from around the world was overwhelming. I marveled at the Rosetta Stone, the Elgin marbles, and the Egyptian mummies. The museum's audio guide helped me understand the significance of each exhibit, and I was grateful for the opportunity to practice my English listening skills. Chapter 4, A Day in Westminster. The following day, I focused on the Westminster area. My first stop was Buckingham Palace, the official residence of the British monarch. I arrived just in time to witness the changing of the guard ceremony. The precision and grandeur of the event were awe-inspiring. From there, I walked to the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. Unfortunately, Big Ben was undergoing renovations, but the majestic architecture of the Parliament building more than made up for it. I joined a guided tour of the building, learning about the history and workings of the British government. Next, I visited Westminster Abbey, the historic church where British monarchs are crowned and famous individuals are buried. The Abbey's stunning Gothic architecture and the stories of those interred there, including Charles Darwin and Sir Isaac Newton, left me in awe. In the evening, I took a ride on the London Eye. The giant Ferris wheel offered breathtaking views of the city as the sun set. Seeing London's landmarks from above, illuminated against the night sky, was a memory I would cherish forever. Chapter 5, Cultural Experiences. London's cultural diversity is one of its greatest strengths. I dedicated the next day to exploring this aspect of the city. I started with a visit to the Victoria and Albert Museum, which houses an extensive collection of art and design pieces from around the world. The fashion exhibits were particularly fascinating, showcasing clothing from different eras and cultures. For lunch, I headed to Brick Lane in East London, famous for its vibrant street art and diverse food scene. I enjoyed a delicious curry at one of the many Bangladeshi restaurants lining the street. The flavors were rich and spicy, a testament to London's multicultural culinary landscape. In the afternoon, I took a stroll through Camden Market. The eclectic mix of stalls selling everything from vintage clothing to handmade crafts was a feast for the senses. I picked up a few souvenirs and chatted with the friendly vendors, practicing my English in the process. That evening, I attended a West End theater performance. The show was spectacular, with stunning performances and elaborate sets. The energy of the performers and the audience was infectious, and I left the theater feeling exhilarated. Chapter 6: Day Trips and Discoveries. London is not just about the city itself, its surroundings offer plenty of interesting destinations as well. I took a day trip to Windsor to visit Windsor Castle, the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world. The grandeur of the castle and its beautifully manicured grounds were a sight to behold. Another day, I ventured to Greenwich, known for its maritime history and the Prime Meridian. I visited the Royal Observatory and stood on the Prime Meridian line, with one foot in the Eastern Hemisphere and the other in the Western Hemisphere. The view from the top of the hill in Greenwich Park was stunning, offering a panoramic vista of the city. Back in London, I explored the vibrant South Bank area. I walked along the Thames Path, passing by iconic landmarks like Shakespeare's Globe Theatre and the Tate Modern. I stopped for a coffee at a riverside cafe and watched the world go by, soaking in the lively atmosphere. Chapter 7: The People I Met. One of the highlights of my trip was the people I met along the way. From fellow travelers to locals, everyone had a story to tell. I struck up conversations in cafes, markets, and on guided tours. Each interaction enriched my experience and provided me with new perspectives. In a small bookstore near Notting Hill, I met an elderly gentleman named Mr. Thompson. He had lived in London his entire life and shared fascinating stories about the city's history. His anecdotes brought the city's past to life in a way that no guidebook ever could. During my visit to the Tate Modern, I met an artist named Emily. We struck up a conversation about contemporary art, and she offered to show me around some of her favorite galleries in the area. Her insights into the art world were enlightening, and I appreciated her generosity in sharing her knowledge. Chapter 8: Reflecting on the Journey. As my trip drew to a close, I found myself reflecting on everything I had experienced. London had exceeded my expectations in every way. The city's rich history, vibrant culture, and welcoming people had made my journey unforgettable. I had not only improved my English listening and speaking skills, but also gained a deeper understanding of the world. Each conversation, each landmark, and each meal had contributed to my growth as a traveler and a person. Chapter 9: Saying Goodbye. On my last day in London, I visited Hyde Park. I rented a bicycle and rode around the park, enjoying the fresh air and the beautiful scenery. I stopped by the Serpentine Lake and watched the swans gliding gracefully across the water. I ended my day with a visit to a traditional English pub. I ordered fish and chips and struck up a conversation with the bartender. We talked about London, travel, and life in general. It was a fitting end to my journey, a reminder of the connections I had made and the memories I would carry with me. As I packed my bags that night, I felt a mix of sadness and gratitude. Sadness because I had to leave this incredible city, but gratitude for the experiences and lessons I had gained. Chapter 10: Homeward Bound. The flight home was long, but I spent most of it reflecting on my adventure. I went through the photos I had taken, each one a snapshot of a precious memory. I thought about the friends I had made and the places I had seen. When I finally arrived home, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had fulfilled a lifelong dream and had come back richer in experience and knowledge. I knew that London would always hold a special place in my heart. Conclusion. My London tour was more than just a vacation, it was a journey of discovery and growth. It taught me the value of planning, the joy of exploration, and the importance of connecting with others. It improved my English listening and speaking skills and broadened my horizons. I encourage anyone with a dream to travel to take that leap. The world is full of wonders waiting to be discovered, and every journey is an opportunity to learn and grow. London was my dream, and it became a reality that surpassed my wildest expectations.
Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, Our carefully curated stories cater to all levels, making learning English enjoyable and effective. Join our community of language enthusiasts and let the magic of storytelling transform your learning experience. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Dive into Englishstorywell, where every story is a step towards mastering English.